It's a little bit different, talking about the game plan, a day early. See some of the local guys, I see the regulars aren't here today, so, it must be a Tuesday.
Chopped
But,
liver.
Chopped liver, man.
But we had the main guy, so. Chicago Bears. We have a couple common opponents. They blew out the Rams, and the Redskins beat them, in a close one. So we haven't crossed over an awful lot, but know their personnel, of course, fairly well. Know any team that's coached by John Fox, you know what type of ball they're going to play. But have some skill guys that you have to deal with: quarterback, running back, wide receiver. So it'd be a good challenge, for our defense. We talked about how we haven't taken the ball away. It's really hurt our football team not being able to do that. We need to create some turnovers or some takeaways on that side. On the other side of the football, we've got to keep doing what we've been doing. Talking about having balance, whether it be us wanting to run the football or pass it, and finishing drives as much as anything, along with protecting the football too. Special teams wise, you're always looking for that spark from your special teams. So we have a lot to look forward to this week. Injury wise, we'll go to the injury list tomorrow, but everybody's getting better.
Coach, I know last year was your opportunity to go back to Chicago, and it's been a few years since you've been there, and each year new players
is
come
a long
along.
time. Keep going.
But I know, there's every year there's less and less players that you coach, but what is it gonna be like when you look across and you see some of those former teammates in that organization that you really spent a big part of your coaching career leading?
Well, it's not a whole lot, and time kind of does that a little bit, but I understand the team that we're playing. Just like last week, I had a lot of fond memories from my time in St. Louis, a lot of fond memories from my time in Chicago. But, as you say, we look across, to an opponent on the other side. And we need to play, the best game we played all year, whoever's on the other side. So won't be any family reunions, anything like that going on. We're just trying to get a win.
Tonight's a night, Lovie, for individual accolades, along with what you were saying yesterday. What are your thoughts going into the Pro Bowl voting? What are you hoping for, Lovie?
That's hard. I don't want to leave anybody out. You just look at, if you just kind of go on numbers, I think a lot of times the Pro Bowl is kind of, you can look at a couple different ways. We have a couple players who've, been Pro Bowl players, Gerald McCoy and Levante David. That has to help you. It's not like they've changed anything like that. So you start with them. But based on what has happened this year, who is playing better football than Doug Martin? I think it's not a stretch to say that he should be on that team. In order for our running back to have that type of year, somebody on the offensive line is playing pretty good football. So, but we'll kind of let it play out. I think the teams that vote on it, we don't vote on ourselves, so the teams that vote on it, I think that they see, what I see.
Lovie, there's been a lot of talk the last couple of weeks in the NFL about discipline. We know struggles with penalties this year. Is that something in the last 2 weeks you feel like you guys can improve on?
We can improve, and I can. We have to improve in a lot of areas, but we've had too many penalties this year. Yes, that's discipline, whatever you want to call it. And in order to become a championship team, you have to take care of it. And when I say penalties, I've kind of grouped the types of penalties that we're talking about. Post-play penalties. Pre-snap. That's not the hard part. The hard part should be after the ball is snapped. And so those areas, yes, we would like to eliminate those completely as we go into 2016.
Oh, you talk about familiar faces in Chicago. Evan Spencer will get a chance to perhaps make his NFL debut against a team he spent a lot of time around. Well, what can he help on your special teams? How much can he help you there?
Well, another big athlete. I always look at athletes with a little bit of size that can do a lot of different things. At the receiver position, and that's the way Russell Shepard, made his name. And through just my time in the league, I've seen guys with a similar talent level as Evan. They get an opportunity. We've been looking at him for a long time on the look squad. Again, he's got good size. He can catch. He's a tough guy. Good speed. That's why we moved him up. And for our practice squad, we put guys on we think eventually deserve to move up. So it's good to see guys like that get their opportunity. We have a few guys on our football team like that right now. You just look at the receiver position. Dante Dye was in a similar situation. Of course, Adam Humphrey. So it's good to see him move up.
Lovie Jameis was quite animated on the sidelines at St. Louis. Is that unusual for a rookie to be that demonstrative, Lovie? And did you think it was positive energy?
I think every time Jameis opens his mouth, it's positive energy putting out. But Jameis has been that way for a long period of time. You saw some of it then. It's a big game. Guys want to do what they can to encourage their teammate. It's peer pressure, which is a good thing also. So again, it's kind of Jameis.
A little bit unusual for a rookie, Lovie, to do it?
I haven't had a lot of rookies that have been in the quarterback position. Juan Alexander, of course, I saw him becoming more and more vocal. But once you get in those, Mike linebacker, quarterback, those are positions where you can't keep your mouth. You can't remain silent. People want to hear what you have to say. And we have two guys that when they talk, you should listen. And by now, 2 games left to go in the season, right? It's a lot of football's been played. That rookie title, it's kind of left him a long time ago.
Coach, Jeremiah George is a player we really haven't talked a lot about, if really at all. Could you mention maybe what he brings to the team as far as a strength, maybe what he needs to work on to improve down the road, if he wants to work himself into the rotation at some point?
What we like about Jeremiah is, we have a certain type of linebacker we play with. Size, we don't worry an awful lot about how much they weigh. How do they move in open field? Can they play in open field? What type of agility, speed do they have? And when they hit, do they play hard? All of these things he does. Sometimes you have to wait your opportunity too. He got, I think, a play or so the other night. Kind of like what we saw from him. There's a reason why we brought him here. And we've seen, and again, right now, the role that we've asked him to play has been on the special teams. It's left up to him to put, to make us put him in other positions.
Lovie, when you knew Quan Alexander was going to be facing the suspension, Bruce Carter had the first crack at middle linebacker. If he's healthy this week, does he go back to being your first choice there at middle linebacker?
Well, you can understand on a Tuesday why I'd like to answer that question, but
You're not telling me whether he's healthy or not.
I've kind of answered it the same way for these 14 weeks. We like Bruce. Bruce, we put him in that position, and then he got hurt. So hopefully be healthy this week, and we'll see.
I'll tread lightly with this then. With Ori Lemon gone, Josh Kai's got a fair amount of work at strong side linebacker on Thursday. How did you feel like he played in there?
I think he played okay for the first time out. Tough situation, to go in. But one that we felt like we needed to make. Once he, after about the first series or so, we thought he settled down and did some good things for your first game as an NFL player. So that's how he played.
Lovie, I know you'd much rather be talking about playoffs right now, but this year it seems like you found a leader on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Do you use these last 2 games to kind of see who you can supplement your young core with?
Yes, we do. We've been, of course, doing that throughout, but these last couple of games, one more shot, for everybody, one last look. I mean, what happens these last couple of weeks, that's going to leave a lasting impression on us, whether it be through leadership, through a certain amount of play that we haven't seen. Yes, these are important games for us to see something that we haven't seen, or to just confirm some things that we're thinking right now. It is good for us to, again, we've seen an awful lot from some of our young players, but there are some more things for us to still see.
Lovie, one thing that struck me as the season went on is sort of the how supportive Clinton McDonald is everywhere, whether it's game day on the sidelines or just in the locker room. Some injured guys, Lovey, they disappear. They don't want to be around. Am I overestimating McDonald's leadership?
No, I don't think you're overestimating it at all. We've talked about young leaders, James, Quan coming up, Gerald has a role, Monte, Logan May. There's a lot of players, Vincent Jackson, have a role on our football team. But we normally, starting off with captains, we added one more captain this year based on who he is. And it's not a popularity contest. You move into those roles based on what they've seen and what they see on a daily basis. Clinton, that's tough. You know, he's our anchor. Can't play any more football. Your role has changed, Clinton. We need you to do this. And he just embraced it. Yeah, you notice that on the sideline. You see, he's as involved as you can possibly be on the sideline. He means an awful lot to our football team. A lot of our younger players one of the first guys they go to for advice. And he's a guy that you want talking to. Not only our young players, all the guys on it.
Teams need glue guys like that, right, Love?
You have to have, all good teams have them. And again, it's not scripted on who moves into that role. It's based on what they see on a daily basis. And we see the same thing from Clinton McDonald. Every day, he's the same guy.
When you see Kenny Bell working with the receivers, we see him out there throwing balls at practice and him being involved in the sideline. Obviously, he's not a veteran and he's not a leader, but is that something that stands out? Do you notice that as a coach when you see a guy like him working?
You know, since you're on IR, you can't do anything out there. So he didn't do anything.
No, sir, no,
Let's
he was
kind of
not
establish
practicing.
that.
Let's clarify that.
Let's
He was-
clarify
of
that.
course, he was watching closely.
When he was watching closely.
Yes, sir.
Again, it's along the same thing. You're out. You can't do anything. You can't participate that way. What can you do? You can gain so much from watching. And for a rookie coming in, having an old red shirt year. And Kenny has taken advantage of it. He's been in all the meetings, in tune. He's traveled with us every game, except for the actual game day and practicing with the team. He's doing an awful lot. That hamstring injury that kind of knocked him out, and some other things. He's been able to really take care of that, and before we know it, he'll be back with this group. We're expecting big things from him.
Lovey, when the season ends, is that takeaway category one that's gonna kind of stick in your craw a little bit?
It's there right now.
Look what Carolina's doing with takeaways.
You look at all of the teams that are really doing something right now. It's gonna look, last 4 games, we've had one. It's just not how it works. Not how it's worked around any football team that I've been on. You need to finish strong, get more at the end, and to find a way to take the ball away. Yes, that's an error. You start checking off things to improve on in 2016, things we have to do a better job of in 2016 is that, take the ball away.
Anything else?
Thanks, Lovey.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Love.